human error is the weakest link in cybersecurity. So DeepSeek is a Chinese AI-based model.
DeepSeek.
So you try to visit any Chinese website from here, they have the great firewall, they've restricted everything.
Correct.
Right? As a security concern, they don't use Google, they use Baidu, and they don't use WhatsApp, they use WeChat. And then why they're giving DeepSeek to the world, that to free of cost to use. So whatever searches you're doing, absolutely, basically they analyze the analytics and they try to understand your user behavior. So first is need. If you are in need, you can be victimized. So need of loan, need of job, anything. People go search, click on the link, and they just go. Second is greed, IPO scams, some free gift or something like that. Third is lust, where extortion kind of crime, watching porn. And here it is not only about clicking on something and getting extorted for money. We have seen there are cases into the media where the defense professionals are targeted against national security. I've seen people talking to me, my daughter's photos are with the enemy countries, and this is something which is really scary. It is not, as I told you, only financial scam. It is reputational, it is life loss, it is national security loss. When they're playing that, their emotion of anger are getting triggered, emotion of fears are getting triggered like anything, and kids are being given a task. The final task is jumping from the window, and kids are doing that kind of suicide. Anything goes wrong in a family, all the elderly people go to the Gen Zs and say, okay, see, my phone is not working, see, my smart TV is not working, and everything. So as a technocrat, it is their responsibility now to create awareness to both the generations.
Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Tech Baithak, the ultimate platform where we bring together conversations around technology, business, and discuss the ideas that shape our future. I am Ashwin Agarwal, your host, once again for today, the Executive Director at Skillmine Technology. To start with, I truly believe that we are living in an era of global uncertainty, wherein there is so much happening around us in the world right now as we speak. And there is this one element I believe that often is not much spoken about, which is cyber security, which I feel plays a key role in shaping the economic progress and stability of our nation. And as we move along, as India is investing heavily in technological innovation and rapidly adopting digitally, basically becoming more tech savvy, if you can call it, or maybe increasing the digital adoption across various tech platforms. It is imperative that we discuss this with utmost frankness, because I believe that cybersecurity is just not and should not be an IT priority. It's more than that. It's actually playing a key role. And as I told you, that we are living in an era of global uncertainty. So as a nation, we cannot be caught sleeping or caught off guard, if I can just be just be a little politically correct. And that is what is the theme for our podcast today, which is cybersecurity need for the nation. And it is with great joy that I would like to introduce our wonderful guest today. Before introducing him and actually panning the camera towards him, what can I say about him myself? He is a serial entrepreneur, founded and co-founded various companies, a really, really hands-on technology guy, really, really passionate about technology in general, and is playing his part, in giving it back to the society through his organization and strengthening the cybersecurity posture of various organizations across many industries. I am elated to welcome my guest today for our discussion, Mr. Nikhil Mahadeshwar, who is the founder of Cybersecure India. Hi, Nikhil, sir. A very good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for your time, and it's a pleasure to have you in our office today amongst us. Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me.
To start with, sir, how are you today? How's this day for you today?
Fantastic. Very, very much great. I'm feeling great to basically come here and speak with you.
Great. As I was discussing with you, sir, earlier as well, I was rather intrigued. I wasn't stalking you, just to be just to be a little clear about that. Because nowadays, in the era of social media, everything, you get cancelled for saying, even the smallest of thing, which is very harmless. So I was just going through your profile and just doing some reading of your background. You've founded a lot of companies in the technological space, particularly in the space of cybersecurity. And now you have started, you are with Cybersecure India. And this fact intrigued me even more, that it's a non-profit organization, as you
Yes,
mentioned,
yes,
and
yes.
it's seldom do I come across people in the technological space that are non-profit, that actually believe in giving it back to the society. So could you just start off by telling us what actually inspired you to build a career in cybersecurity? That is A, and B, what was that one defining moment, sir, that you would like to tell us that led to the creation of cybersecurity India, so to speak?
So, first of all, thank you for inviting me in this podcast. So, when I started, basically, I always believing learning. So, still, also, I say yes, I am a learner. I keep learning new things. So, I have many mentors, and one of my mentor I met Mr. Sachin Pirankar.
Hmm.
So, I was learning back that time website designing, and he said, Nikhil, how much time you are going to do this? So get into something which is really the next which is coming, and which is cyber or hacking, and search on backdoor attacks and everything like that.
Right.
So I said, sir, I don't have a computer. That time I was, I'm just telling you about 2007 or 8.
Okay.
So I was not having a computer or laptop at my place.
It was a luxury back then, actually, to have your own laptop. It was quite a luxury back then.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he said, do you have a pen and paper? I said, yes. So write down your questions on that. Okay. And that time I wrote my first question about how to, create a virus or that kind of
How to
thing.
create a virus?
And that is what the curiosity implemented.
Right.
So then basically I started writing the questions, and whenever I used to get time, I used to go to cyber cafe, spend 50 rupees, 100 rupees for
Mm-hmm.
half an hour or 1 hour, that whatever rent. So me and one of my friend is there. Basically, we used to go there and search all of that thing. So this is the story basically of getting into cyber by getting motivated with Sachin Pirankar sir.
Mm-hmm.
Second aspect, I was attending a session of a writer, Madhav Shirvalkar. He's a writer in IT. He also has a very good IT company,
Mm.
and he writes books in Marathi and English both.
Okay.
So I was attending his session in one of the organization I volunteer with is Manashakti Research Center, which is at Lonavala. So they're into proper scientific research,
Mm-hmm.
and that was my college times. So he wrote a book called as Sanganak Jagat, in which there is a story of a world famous hacker, Kevin Mitnick. So today, if you Google about who is the world's number one hacker, you will still get his name, Kevin David Mitnick. Unfortunately, he passed away 2 years back, and
Okay.
fortunately, I was able to meet him once in my lifetime
Okay.
in JISEC, Gulf Information Security Expo Dubai.
Right.
So he has written his complete journey and story. That inspired me basically to get into uh, cyber security. So that is how basically I came into the cyber world, or the cyber
Right.
side
Right.
of this world. So these are the two major mentors, or I will say basically my one of the person is my guru only, Mr. Sachin Priyankar. So they motivated me, or you can say inspired me to get into this journey.
Great. Great. It's rather interesting, sir, when I hear this, but I'm still not able to wrap my head around the fact that you mentioned that it is, I mean, earlier to me, obviously,
Mhm.
that it is a non-profit organization. Why so, sir? If you can just tell us.
So where cyber now, where cyber secured India comes as a picture basically. So cyber secured India we started in 2014 as an initiative,
Hmm.
and from the day one it was clear to get into a non-profit community for this. The reason being, when we started,
Acha, you were clear from the very start. So
yes, yes,
this is not an afterthought,
no, no,
basically.
no, no, no.
Okay, okay.
It was very started, and the reason
Hmm.
is also like that. So we were looking at people losing their hard-earned money. So,
Hmm.
for someone basically to lose 5,000 rupees is also a big thing, who is on daily wages or
Absolutely.
something like that. And people were losing that time also. There were lottery scams, or there
Hmm.
are different type of scams. Now the scams are being more advanced. So we realized that there is lack of awareness, which was more at that time. And then we said, let us start with the objective of how we can reduce the number of cybercrime by by creating awareness. So we always say prevention is much better
Better
than
than
cure,
cure, right?
right? So what is prevention is create awareness, because human error is the weakest link in cybersecurity.
Mhm.
So create awareness to the humans who are interacting with machines or with other humans with technology and getting scammed. So that was our first initial objective. Then we added two more objectives to it. Second was how we can increase the detection ratio of cybercrime. So we started working with law enforcement agencies for we can say increasing the detection ratio of cybercrime, so that the criminals get identified, the money gets back to the victim, or at least someone's photos, if they are viral, videos they are viral, that basically gets investigated. We have multiple programs which we did for increasing the detection ratio of cybercrime with the law enforcement agencies.
Mhm.
And the third very important objective is to create skilled people. So like you're having a skill mine,
Right.
so we are also creating
Right, right.
basically skilled people, because the students and any person basically wants to get into cyber as a career, and
Hmm.
if they get skilled and trained more, basically it will be benefiting for the nation, as nation itself basically is having a huge requirement of cyber security experts or
Correct, correct.
professionals. And if we create that capacity in house, so this goes go hand in hand by reducing the number of cybercrime, increasing the detection ratio, and basically creating skilled experts. So that is where, and majorly this is a community work. So
Hmm.
we always should have some intention to give back to the society. Even we are doing some job or maybe business or anything, the field which we come from, we learn it from somewhere or else. So
Correct.
a lot of people taught me. So
Hmm. Hmm.
I
Hmm.
learned from many people, may it be free or at a minimal cost. And so some people never even asked for any money. So I said, for learning, money should not be the barrier. That is
Hmm.
very important. Or doing certain certification or spending $500 or 40,000 rupees and 50,000 rupees should not be the barrier. And we should start something which should be basically free of cost at the we can say learning stage at least. So there is where thought came of giving back to the society. And fortunately, it is not a one person work. There's a
Correct.
whole core team behind it.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
And everyone got aligned with the thought that yes, we should do this. And there is where the journey started.
That is a very noble thought, sir. Like there is this one sentence that you said that is, stuck with me now. That
Mhm.
for learning, money should not be the barrier. So that is indeed a very noble thought, actually, if you were to ask me, because I think that is what the government's push has been also from a very long time.
Mhm.
That every individual has the right to education.
Correct.
That is his basic or his or her basic right. That
Correct.
should not be compromised, and the monetary aspect should not come. So I think that is a very noble thought, sir, if you ask me, and I wish you all the best in whatever initiatives you have planned out, to give it back to the society. But I mean, coming back to cyber secured India again, this is very interesting for me, sir. So I'm just coming back to here and here itself. Uh, Skillmine, for example, Skillmine technology also. We also like conduct a lot of training, upskillment programs, so that for people who want to pursue a career in technology, could be any field, cyber, digital, cloud, whatever, up to their interest. But we also do that. So I feel there is some semblance here.
Absolutely.
But speaking specifically of cyber secure India, sir, can you please shed some light on to like what is the work that you actually do, and like who are the industries or the organizations, if you're comfortable sharing,
Yeah, why not?
that you actually work with, and I mean some background, like
Yes,
what is the technical workforce strength, all of that, if you're comfortable.
So ideally, we work with three major sectors, like majorly government sector. In
Hmm.
government, we work with police force, which is law enforcement agency. Then some non-disclosable departments as well,
Right,
basically.
right.
And so basically, we do training with them. So we train their forces.
Hmm.
Then basically we help them to investigate crimes. That is something which we do with the government. Then also as a part of government, there are public sector units like PSUs. So there also we do upskilling programs for them.
And all of this is for free.
No, so basically how it works. So whatever profit we
Right.
get from the program, so
Right.
these are there are paid programs where we have to go and deliver. So travel cost comes, speaker cost comes, but the profit which is remaining into the community goes back for 3 months free training and internship programs, where the community is of
Okay.
around 38,000 people globally in 130 countries. Then
Wow.
it goes for free faculty development program, where we train lot of faculties of universities, colleges. So we have a faculty community of more than 400 all India, and
Okay.
they come, they upskills themselves, and basically they do it. We do free meetups, cyber security meetups, where we call, and that
Hmm.
are not only online but offline,
Offline also.
offline as well. So we have collaborations where we basically take some free certificates, actually, which are paid but under some scholarship programs, and then gift it to the students, basically, so where they can learn.
Correct.
So with government, with corporates, so corporates, obviously, we do services like VAPT, or pre incident or post incident malware analysis, forensic readiness, digital forensics, incident response, so that kind of services. And also we do upskilling in the corporate sector as well. And in the academics, we work with students, faculties, and we have a concept called a center of excellence in cybersecurity. So we sponsor few things from our end in the
Hmm.
center of excellence for upskilling of students and faculties both, because we believe not only students are required basically
Correct.
training, but also faculties require that for upskilling themselves, because
Absolutely.
technology is something, while we are discussing, something is coming up there, right? So
Right.
everyone should get upskilled, and for that, the funds which are coming from the paid program, after spending the operational cost, there is a amount of profit which basically is there into the community, so that is spent for all free programs. As a non-profit company, we have to use all the funds for welfare of the society
Correct.
only. We cannot withdraw any profits from it.
Right, right. This is actually, interested me from the second, sir, you mentioned
Yeah.
while we are discussing that it's a non-profit thing that you have, embarked this on this journey. Because even if you are, charging a nominal amount to the customers that you're serving,
Correct.
you are using that profit or money, whatever you may
Yes,
call
yes.
it, to again give it back to the society.
Correct, correct.
So I'd like to tell our viewers that, I hear a lot of such leaders, their idea is just on a piece of paper. But here, sir, I can say that you are one individual who is actually, like walking the talk, if
Correct.
I can say, using that, to really upskill people. And I think hats off, sir. I can't say more on that. But speaking of technology, as you mentioned, sir, rightly, that now we are discussing some other innovation is
Correct.
happening in the field of technology. Skillmine technology, also for that matter, so cyber security is one of our core competencies too,
Wow.
actually. Besides many other verticals, obviously, but I'd like to stick around cyber security strictly.
Correct, correct.
There is one observation, sir, in my limited. Obviously, I'm not as experienced or as
Mhm.
I've spent a very limited time in the technology space, but over the past few weeks, especially after COVID, sir, there's one
Mhm.
thing, and please let me know if you also resonate with this or if you have experienced this, because I see that, we work with all the leading banks, pharma, manufacturing, retail. We also cater to a wide variety of industries. There's one thing which I'm seeing right now more evidently is that all these tech leaders, be it CISOs, CIOs, CTOs, IT heads, okay, on paper, yes, they are. I think your smile is actually, giving me the impression that you are you already know where I'm
Yeah,
getting to,
yeah.
right? But I, just like to address this elephant in the room, sir, without actually demeaning or denigrating anyone.
Understand.
That and this is just a personal observation, sir. You could have a different point of view, but I see that, while on paper they are technology leaders or pioneers or visionaries, whatever you may call it, but I sense a huge gap in their understanding of technology, which to me is very surprising. At the same time, it's very ironic because you are the CISO of a particular organization. Cybersecurity is supposed to be your domain,
Yes.
and you are not fully, up to the mark as far as that is concerned. So, have you also experienced such a similar, have you also seen such similar things, sir, in your
So,
career?
so while interacting with C-level executives, including CISOs, so I've observed here there are two sides to it. One
Hmm.
is what the compliance says. Okay, you should have a CISO, and at times companies designate someone who is already into their C-level executive or board level. Okay, yes, you have the responsibility of a CISO. So if there is report submission or something like that as a designated CISO, you can sign in. Even in the government level now, as per the new cybersecurity framework, every department should have a CISO. So
Okay.
they basically have not directly appointed a new CISO, but designated someone at the senior level as CISO who has some
Who was
IT
already a
understanding.
part of the board, and
Correct,
now he has
correct,
been delegated as a CISO.
correct. So
Okay.
that is one aspect of it. Second, about compliance. So when we talk with these organizations, and they know the what is the knowledge and everything, but when they implement the cybersecurity framework and all, so we see lot of implementations are not done properly or completely, which would have minimized the risk of cyber security if there was an attack. Or now basically there is an attack, and we see there is no forensic readiness, there are no compliance being followed, customer data is at risk, customer has lost money at times, and this is all because what is on paper, just tick tick tick, is at times not completely implemented. So that this is the gap basically which I observe. But also at the other side, we see they are also putting a lot of funds for training them, giving the latest technology and giving the latest knowledge. It is about the person, it may be any designation.
Correct.
They should be responsible enough to take it till the end and do whatever it takes. I mean, so people can only save people. It is, you implement anything, but it should come from within basically. Yes, this is my designation, this comes under my responsibility, and I'll do whatever it takes to secure it at my end. That is something which is
So basically, accountability is something
yes,
which is required.
absolutely.
This is one very important point that you mentioned, and this is for all our viewers. Who are, I mean, who may be, I mean, nothing against you guys. This is just a personal observation, but who are already CTOs, CISOs, or maybe aspiring CISOs. One quality that may actually stand out is that you need to take accountability for your job. I think that's a very crucial point that you mentioned, sir. And moving forward with this technology innovation and all of it, you mentioned that it's an idea, it's on a piece of paper, and then it's like a tick 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 something. Nowadays, sir, I think when I'd like to now come to this very like overhyped topic, which I feel, which is AI. Okay, so I would not like to bore you and the viewers also, but I just like to give a different point of view here, that when ChatGPT came, sir, back, I think it was somewhere late 2022, if I'm not
2020, yeah,
mistaken,
you're
somewhere
right.
around that.
Yeah.
Okay, it was the rage, right? From like everyone was talking, from a corporate professional to Mr. Narayan Murthy also. Everybody was talking about how ChatGPT is going to take our jobs, how this, how that, how is it going to shape the future. And now, cut to 2026, we see there are a plethora of AI, LLMs and chatbots there, like Meta, Claude, Gemini. China has its own DeepSeek. I don't know. I mean, there are so many to choose from, and so many under development as I speak. Who knows that in the next month or so there may be 10 other LLMs that may come up. So, how do you see this, sir? Like, as in, do you see this as just someone who is a part of the herd mentality, so just someone just trying to stay relevant and being a part of this, or like, is this really, I mean, are there people, I mean, I'm maybe I'm not able to frame it, but like, is this just the hype which is actually resulting in this, or people are actually playing their part in this?
So I have three perspectives over any kind of AI.
Right.
So first is, I'll tell the good side of it always. Like, yes, the work which was taking 2 months, let's say for some kind of a program development, that is happening within 2 days or 3 days or 10 days. So your human resource cost basically, or I will not say resource as an asset cost basically, will
Right.
is decreasing. Then you don't need multiple assets to complete that job. So you can put one senior asset and ask the AI to build something. So your productivity is increasing. It's a very good aspect. May it be despite of any platform you mentioned. It may be GPT, it may be DeepSeek, it may be Claude, it may be anything.
Right.
Now let's come to the other perspective. Basically, the second perspective is, because of AI, people's critical thinking ability basically is not improvising. So
Okay.
just like when we used to use calculator, if I am used to do that, I will
Yeah.
also do 2 plus 2 if I want to get the answer,
Correct.
because I'm like addicted or used to it so much. So now also, previously, if I want to write a letter, I used to think what I should write.
Correct.
Now every small task people are giving to AI, getting output, and not only about writing a letter, completing college projects, completing office projects, completing task management thing, anything and
Literally
everything.
every task.
Right. So, and also people are talking with AI. I mean, they even have friends, but what to talk with friend, that also people are chatting with them, and that also people are doing that. So somewhere critical thinking abilities,
Hampering.
yes, it is hampering. Creativity basically is hampering. So your own thought, where it is, that
Hmm.
is really the question, and are the answers agenda based? That is also the question. So like what you're searching and what you're getting as an answer, is it agenda based, is it something which is getting promoted, and then you're acting on that aspect. And the third and important aspect is all about national security, what you're asking,
Hmm.
what data you're sharing. Let's say talk about DeepSeek. You said DeepSeek, so
Yeah, yeah.
DeepSeek is a Chinese AI based model.
Yes.
So you try to visit any Chinese website from here, they have the great firewall, they've restricted everything,
Correct.
right? As a security concern, they don't use Google, they use Baidu, and they don't use WhatsApp, they use WeChat,
Correct,
they
correct.
use different apps they have. They don't use Netflix like OTTs. They
They have
have different,
Yuku, I think that
right?
is
So
the equivalent.
so
Yeah.
they don't use Insta. They have multiple things,
They
but
have
then
their own copies,
correct.
basically.
And
Yeah.
then why they're giving DeepSeek to the world, that to free of cost to use.
Yeah.
So whatever searches you're doing, absolutely, basically they analyze the analytics and they try to understand your user behavior. Where starting they
Hmm.
claim that no data is going to China or any Chinese agency. There's this YouTuber David Bombal, as a very famous YouTuber for networking,
Hmm. Hmm, hmm.
and so he demonstrated just by a tool called as Wireshark how
Hmm, hmm.
whatever you're searching, how the data is going to China basically with the IPs and all. So whatever claims they are doing, okay, it is free. But what about the national security? Now, because, why I'm saying not only we as corporate world, but also government people are using this data. So Ministry of Finance India has officially tweeted like there will be no use of AI in any of the work, because
Okay.
whatever you search is getting stored as a for their analytical purpose. For so
In Chinese data centers.
absolutely, DeepSeek,
Yes.
it is Chinese data center.
Correct.
Now you're using GPT or you are using any third party model. So we don't know where actually the servers are hosted, where they are routing through. And China has a very strategic role in extracting the data of India or whatever they have basically on their list as target countries for that.
Hmm, hmm,
So
hmm.
this is my third perspective about, and which government of India has already tweeted, as I
Correct, correct.
told you, not to use AI in any kind of official work as well. So these are basically all the three perspectives. That is what I can say.
That's a very well thought out answer. I think that's a very refreshing answer. That national security and people's critical thinking is being
Critical
hampered.
thinking, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So I believe one, we need to really strike the balance between. Let's not be too dependent on AI.
Ah,
We need to welcome it, but at the same time, we need to keep our IQ also intact. Otherwise, as a race, we will cease to exist, I
correct.
believe.
So how I use AI, I'll just give you an
Yeah.
example,
Please,
or
please.
even like basically people who work with us. So what we do is we write whatever we have in our mind first,
Right.
okay, and then basically we can say, okay, structure it
Correct.
or tell me what is missing. So prior, I used to ask a friend or a colleague or a mentor. So now, okay, I'll ask, okay, what is missing or what can go wrong basically if I draft this and give me the consequences. So yes, but initially you cannot just go directly taking a problem statement and putting it in AI and because students are solving kind of hackathons or CTF are taking the answer from AI
What is
and
the
just
point of
pushing
that
it.
hackathon or such events if everything is done by AI?
Correct, correct,
Then there
correct.
is only AI. There is no HI, which is human intelligence there.
So recent, I was attending one of the college in the University Jaipur conference,
Uh-huh.
and there the hackathon was conducted on forensics, open source intelligence technology, and I can say there were volunteers observing if you're using AI or not. If you're using AI, you're disqualified. So that is what basically is the
What a
situation.
time we have come to. Wherein I remember back in the day when when we were students, like invigilators used to be there. That I am not copying from some other person. Now, as you are mentioning that invigilators are actually verifying that he's not copying from a technology. Wow, I mean, strange times, but interesting times. I think that
Yes,
we are in,
yes.
and I think only time will tell how this goes beyond now.
But productivity will absolutely be increased, and it will help to create the solutions, or the we can say solve problem
Right,
statements
right.
much quicker and much time efficient, cost efficient.
I think there are two sides to every
Yes,
coin,
yes,
sir.
yes,
Like
yes.
one is the good side, one is the flip side. So yeah,
Correct.
I believe that is there with any era. If you see any era, like if you go from when the first computer came out to right now, because I recall my college professor telling me at one point in time that there was one processor, a chip also, not a processor, chip. It was the size of maybe a car that used to be transported, and now you have the chips in your mobiles and the watches and
So specifically talking about India AI mission. So India
right.
mission has Bhashani as AI.
Hmm.
So it has almost all the languages. So if you're creating any program, you can use that AI. It is free and open to use, and convert into your program into all the Indian languages, specifically Indian languages.
It's about time,
So
sir, since our topic is cybersecurity need of the nation. I think it's about time, like we also as a community, the tech community comes together and create our own LLM, because I believe, and please correct me if I'm wrong, that India does not have its own proprietary LLM. We are
mhm,
dependent on this American, or
mhm.
maybe some in the West, if I can call it so.
Correct,
But
correct, correct.
I keep on hearing, no,
They are doing
but
it.
they are doing their part, I guess.
They're
We
doing
will
it.
reach there shortly.
Yes, yes.
Fingers crossed, but we are on the right path, I guess. Sir, I think it was a pleasure talking to you, sir. And I mean, thank you so much for your insights. We have a very quick, fun session, sir, just towards concluding this. So
So,
it's
so
like,
before going there,
yeah,
yeah. So I will. What I want to basically explain you about one concept which we
please,
are.
please go ahead, sir.
So we do have a concept called as Center of Excellence in Cybersecurity, and in Center of Excellence in Cybersecurity, we take problems from corporates and from the government, which we work with
When you say
closely.
problem, meaning problem statements.
Problem
Okay.
statements. Okay, so the problem statements, like you as an officer come and say, okay, I don't have the access to the VPN server. I always get basically stuck where the I identify a VPN IP, or I always get ransom attacks. I don't know. So how do we
Hmm.
decrypt it, and then we have to pay ransom, or the money is now transferred to a mule account or a foreign account. So this kind of problem statements we have, or my phone gets hacked, how do I check that, and everything. So we put these problem statements basically in our center of excellences. So we do tie up with universities.
Okay.
So we have some center of excellences in India, in UAE also, and some other parts of the world also is in process. So we put these problem statements to the students. Now the students who are doing this 3 months training and internship program, they are taught free of cost fundamentals of cybersecurity, web app pen testing, mobile app pen testing, cloud forensic readiness, then digital forensics, Windows, and Linux privilege escalation. So this is the foundation which gets built in 3 months free of cost. Now, how they can utilize that knowledge? We give some problems, and from that problems, what we have created till now is cybercrime investigation manual for India, for UAE, and for UK,
Okay.
all the regions. We have created a WhatsApp chatbot through which, if someone don't want to read the complete manual, they can just scan and actually click on the question. Okay, let's say email forensics,
Right.
we can say procedure, or ransomware evidence collection procedure, mobile phone evidence collection procedure, and they get the answer.
Right. Right.
And now we have created our MVP for our own investigation LLM. So,
Okay.
like the officer can go and search. I have a case where there is a digital arrest. I have a case where there is a sextortion kind of case,
Hmm.
and this is something which is getting addressed into our center of excellence. We have created a hardware device basically where you can put your phone, like attach your phone with your USB cable and scan, and as you get a blood report, like you will get the report of where are the vulnerabilities in your device.
Right. Right.
And so the basic concept of center of excellence is to solve people's problem, to solve organizations problem, and to solve the government's problem. And this comes from studying the victim data. So victim are not only losing money, they're also losing reputation,
Hmm.
and more than that, they are losing life. I am
Correct.
making this statement very responsibly because we see people. getting embarrassed if there are some photos or videos are leaked.
Yeah.
People are getting blackmailed if basically they
Invasion of privacy, basically.
yes.
Yeah.
So any kind basically of someone calling and saying I have your photos or videos or something like that, and
Extortion.
extortion. So in this case, people do like video calls, random video calls, and when the victim picks up, there is a nude person at the other side, and they start blackmailing to you, and that kind of crime is called sextortion.
Correct.
So this kind of crime, so people get embarrassed and they are afraid that if this photos videos goes into their friend circle, so it is very embarrassing. And like we have a lot of case studies where people have committed suicide because of this. So cybercrime is not only about losing money. So we have categorized 4 categories in cybercrime. So first is need. If you are in need, you can be victimized. So need of loan, need of job, anything. Go people go search, click on the link, and they just
Correct.
go. Second is greed, IPO scams, some free gift or something like that. Third is lust, where extortion kind of crime, watching porn, and here it is not only about clicking on something and getting extorted for money. We have seen like there are cases into the media where the defense professionals are targeted
Mm-hmm.
against national security
Correct.
data.
They also have been victims, honey trapping and all of this.
Absolutely, and it is not restricted or limited to themselves. It is
Correct.
to their family members.
Yeah.
I've seen people talking to me. My daughter's photos are with the enemy countries, and they are asking me for some data against that. So this is something which is really scary. It is not, as I told you, only financial scam.
Correct.
It is reputational. It is life loss. It is national security loss. The fourth important category is threat. So where digital arrest kind of crime comes into picture, or basically people try to scare you by, okay, your electricity will be disconnected,
Right.
your son is like arrested for some drug case or something like that.
Propaganda, basically.
So need,
Misinformation.
greed, lust, and threat. These are the 4 important categories where basically the cyber crimes are happening. There may be major subcategories and news and something like that. So as a end user, it is our responsibility also. We cannot just say it is government's responsibility, it is police responsibility. It's our responsibility also. It's a shared responsibility.
Correct.
To prevent our digital assets, to prevent our own data, our own privacy as well, by following basic cyber hygiene techniques or cyber hygiene protocols that we should do in our daily life. And anything happens in cybercrime, report it to 1930. There is a national cybercrime helpline.
1930. 1930 is the helpline number. If you are a victim of any cybercrime, if you, your friends, your family members, your relatives, anyone, please do not be ashamed and please report again. Maybe this number will also flash below the video. It's 1930 is the cyber helpline number. Please do report and please come out.
Yeah, so that is something. And as a responsible citizen of India, you should be responsible netizen too. That is what I will say. So create awareness. Talking about the last point of awareness is something which is really coming as a slow poison strategy. Is the gaming industry, where kids are playing games like anything. So it's like they're getting addicted like anything, and when they're playing that, their emotion of anger are getting triggered, emotion of fears are getting triggered like anything, and kids are being given a task. The final task is jumping from the window, and kids are doing that kind of suicide
They're
with games.
imitating it in real life.
Absolutely. And then basically we can just go on Google about kids suicide because of gaming. In the news section, you will get many states numbers. Kerala is the most, 25 kids basically committed suicide in one basically quarter or something like that. Then kids getting targeted for being part of anti-national activities. So in Kalyan area nearby Mumbai, basically
Right.
there were 4 kids who were targeted about this, and they were basically successful in brainwashing them, and all 4 basically escaped from their home. They went into the enemy country illegally, got trained, and were deployed in Syria.
Hmm.
Out of 4, The three teenagers, their dead bodies were identified, and one basically escaped somehow and reached to the embassy. So, this level of penetration, and this was done by ISIS. So, this level of penetration has been done in cyber. So, it is not only when we talk about financial loss, it's also about national security, securing our future, because this is a slow poison strategy by the enemy world, by the Western world, I'll say,
Yeah,
to keep our kids engaging. India has the most youth population,
correct.
and to keep kids engaging into games, into reels, into
So
whatnot.
that we do not progress further,
Absolutely.
because the youth is the backbone of the country.
Absolutely. So
Right.
if you don't grow in your own goal, what are you going to do basically? So that's how
We will
basically
not
it's
grow as a society,
actually, and that's what basically their agenda is, to keep India developing. But absolutely, we are
not to
on
be a
the
developed country.
yes, yes. So we are
Because
on the
if we
path of
become
getting developed.
developed, then there will be a new like occupier of the space, I guess.
Correct,
There
correct.
will be a new person who will like dictate the rules, and I think that is what scares them.
That scales them, and India is already doing a lot in terms of, as a national cyber security policy. There is basically India AI mission, which is there. Obviously, AI and safety is part of it. We have computer emergency response team India.
Hmm.
We have
Cert.
CERT is there.
Hmm.
We have our own defense cyber agency, which come under tri services, Army,
Correct.
Navy, Air Force. So we do have multiple cyber jagrutta divas as a part of Ministry of Home Affairs cyber commandos program. So India is really doing a lot into all this when it comes to protection or prevention of, it may be kids, crimes against cyber crime, basically against women, or even
Hmm.
senior citizens as well. So that is something basically which is there.
I must say, sir, you are. I mean, thank you so much for like sharing all these pearls with us and the viewers, because
Mhm.
a wise man once said, that ask not what your country is doing for you, but ask what you are doing for your country. And I think you have taken this to heart, and you are doing so much for the nation. Playing your part in whichever shape and form you can. And I must say, it is really inspiring to me, and I'm sure it will be the same for our viewers as well.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a whole team behind it. We have 10 core team members, then some volunteers,
Correct, correct.
interns. This all community is driven because of the core team members, interns, and
I
the
love this
volunteers.
word, sir, community,
Community,
that you're
yes,
using,
yes.
because a community, shares certain values. So I really like this idea, sir. I
They
think,
all do it for each other and basically for the people. It is
yeah, for the people,
all the people.
correct, which is actually one of the key ethos of our constitution,
Yes,
also,
yes,
like of the people, by the people, for the people. So yeah,
absolutely.
great. I think very great alignment, sir. You got there. Thank you so much for that.
Yes, yes.
As I was saying, sir, earlier, just I think we've had quite a lot of serious and some really deep
Yeah.
diving conversations. I'd just like to deviate from here a bit, and just try to get your candid views on some of the topics that I
Okay,
throw on
okay.
you. Okay, so just your answers have to be a little quick, a little rapid. So are you ready for that, sir?
I'm ready.
Great. So I've noted down some. Let me just start with the first one. So, sir, so this section is called this or that.
Okay.
So you'll have to choose one. Okay.
Okay, I'll
You
try
can't be
to.
diplomatic here. So right, I'll start now. So building a security framework or explaining cyber security to your relatives at a wedding.
Obviously, like building a cybersecurity framework. But I'll tell you, I end up explaining cybersecurity to my relatives in a wedding or wherever I go. They come and ask me, "कि, अरे वो फोन हैक हो गया तो क्या करने का और क्या how can I hack someone's WhatsApp?" I said, "No, man, don't ask this question."
You're asking the policeman how to steal.
Actually, I do build frameworks also, but I do answer these
All
questions as
right.
well.
Social service plus personal service. That also free of cost. Relatives, I tell you. The second one being, sir, hacker movies or startup documentaries.
Hacker movies.
Hacker movies for sure. I think. I mean, I could tell. Come on, I
Yes.
could tell that. Right. Now this one is more, in terms of your daily routine. So
Uh-huh.
so midnight client escalations or a Monday morning compliance audit.
No, no, midnight client escalation. I actually love to handle that.
Yeah, because client you can still manage, but how will you manage the auditors? They will just grab you by the collar. Yes, and the last one, sir, like it's more of like a founder kind of a question.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you prefer, sir? 3 hours of sleep or 300 unread emails?
No, 3 hours of sleep. Like,
Amazing, sir. Amazing. And just last
yeah,
closing questions for you before we
yeah,
wrap this up, because as you mentioned that India has, if not the youngest, then one of the youngest population,
yeah.
right? And I'm sure most of them would be watching this
Correct.
discussion like as we speak. So, what would be your advice, sir? I mean, given your profound experience sir, in the field of cybersecurity, to the India's, as we call them today, Gen Z. That is, I think, what they call. And
Correct.
there are new terms coming up, Gen Alpha, Gen Beta. Obviously. So, what would be your one message, to this generation of founders, professionals who are going to shape the future of our country?
So it may be Gen Z or Alpha. So they are we can say more clever and more intelligent as per the evolution theory.
Okay.
And we can say basically this as a technocrat. They are majorly technocrats. So if anything goes wrong in a family,
Hmm.
the all the elderly people go to the Gen Zs and say, okay, see my phone is not working, see my smart TV is not working, and everything. So as a
Yeah.
technocrat, it is their responsibility now to create awareness to both the generation. One is the elder generation, like the grandmothers, grandfathers, fathers, mothers, or any
The
kind of
silent
elderly people.
generation, basically.
Yes,
Yeah.
that how they cannot be victimized, and the kids or the very younger generation who are addicted to watching just YouTube videos or playing games. Without that, they don't have food or something. So
That's a
that
menace if
is
you were to ask me, sir.
absolutely. So as a
Hmm.
technocrat, it is their, or we can say their responsibility to create awareness with these two generations
Uh-huh.
and to stay aware. And if they wish to create a career into this industry, basically where this is not a nice to have industry, this is a must have industry as a
Correct.
cyber. Because when security, we say security first, or responsible security as
Right,
a
right.
responsible security first. So that is something which I
Great,
would
great.
like to
Thank you
advise.
so much, sir. I think awareness, and this is not a nice to have thing. It's must to have. And I feel, sir, if I may add to what you said,
Please, please.
this needs to come from within. Yeah. So if I may add, sir, that it needs to come from within, because I see that many of the young professionals, they want to pursue it just for the sake of it, just for the tag that, oh, I'm a cyber security professional, just to sound cool. But I think it needs to come from within. And it was great, sir. I mean, that is the least I can say after a conversation. It was great talking to you, and thank you so much for your time once again, sir. I'm sure our viewers will, get to learn lots from this discussion.
Correct.
And to our viewers, I would say I hope this episode was an insightful one for you. Stay tuned for more such episodes will be coming in the times to come. Until then, stay safe and Jai Hind. Thank you so much.
So I'll also basically appreciate Skillmine, what they're doing, just not as consulting firm, but also creating this knowledge base is really important for the younger generations or for the audience watching your podcast and videos. Because simultaneously, like running a company, everyone is busy. Ashwins are very busy, like anything. But then, but then also getting this idea for creating a knowledge base for the we can say youth of the country. Basically, it is a really great job you are doing. So, like, thanks to you and your team as well.
Thank you for your sweet words, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you to our viewers once again of Tune. Please stay tuned for more such episodes and stay safe. Jai Hind. Thank you so much.